It's All Gravy with Teresa. Good afternoon, guys. We are live again in Bowling Green, Kentucky. You're watching It's All Gravy with Teresa. And here we are in my kitchen. We are going to make a favorite soup that we started making for New Year's. And I thought today would be a perfect time to do that. And you can, this does real well if you just let it marinate. And it does, it's better if you let it marinate overnight. You don't have to do that, but it's better if you do. So, I'm hoping everybody had a good Christmas, that you got to at least talk to your loved ones. We were very blessed that ours come in different times. And when the most were here, it was nice enough for us to open up the windows and get some air circulating, so we didn't worry a whole lot. It was just a good time. And my most precious gift is my Layden and Maddie got me a Grammy necklace. And if I hadn't cried enough about that, my little Mila, her dad had given her my mother's Bible that she studied in. And Mila gave that to me for a gift, with the conditions that she gets it back when I die. Just a very emotional, sweet, that my grandchildren have grown that much to really think about what the gift that they're giving, and that it's not about money. And that has been so sweet to see that evolve. So I was very blessed. And my husband got me canning jars while they were able to be found. Now, who would have thought he would be thinking about that? I mean, this bunch is really surprising me around here. But let's get started. Our counters have already been wiped down with disinfectant. And we always want to start by washing our hands. We don't want any cross-contamination. And this is so simple, this little soup to put together. It's very hearty, and you will think that these things don't go together, but when you take a bite, you are going to be so surprised at how well it all blends. So, I've started a little bit, and we've got the onions already chopped, 1 cup of onions, and that was just a medium-sized onion. We use smoked sausage, and I've already started chopping it up. And I go ahead and do these in half again, just so everybody gets a good bite. And that is 2 pounds that we're using. I'm making a big pot. And if you have a smaller family, say 4 people, you just cut this in half. It's very simple to do. Just cut it in half. Be 1 pound of sausage, 1 pound of hamburger. We're using 2 pounds of hamburger, and again, this comes from Bentley Farms, Wyatt and Alley. Great hamburger, very little fat, just enough to make it good. And then black-eyed peas, going to bring us some good luck, and it's whatever brand that you want. And when I got in the cabinet this morning, this is another thing of us living intentional and not wasting. This all just came out of what I had in the pantry. And I am using Rotel. I didn't have any diced tomatoes, believe it or not. But I'd made a soup last week and used those up. So I did have Rotel. So we're using Rotel, and it has a little green chilies in there, which is going to give it a little bit of a bite, which is great. And I didn't have any tomato juice. So we're going to use tomato paste. And it's going to be just as good. You work with what you have. There's all different varieties of this. You can add potatoes if you want. You could add cabbage if you want. But this is just the basic. And again, that's what we're doing, is trying to get you excited about cooking and just using what you have in your cabinet and coming up with a good meal. And this is great for New Year's. So we're going to start off by turning our skillet on. And I'm going to put just a tablespoon, or a half a tablespoon, it won't take much. Let's say a teaspoon, we'll just put a teaspoon of olive oil. And I run that over a little bit. And we're going to put our onions. This is kind of one of the tricks to this soup is we pre-cook the meat, and that gives it a whole different flavor, especially the sausage. The smoked sausage just comes to life when you brown it a little bit. So we're going to do the onions. We're going to add the hamburger to it. I'll go ahead and turn that up so it'll get going. In this hamburger, I'm just going to break it up in here and let it go while the onions are. So is anybody there yet?
So yeah, we got 14 watching.
Woohoo! Hi guys!
Deborah Bim Drew said, love the necklace. Hope I get one soon.
Oh, It was awful special, I'll tell you. They made tears come to my eyes.
Mila was bragging about you crying about her present this morning.
That's my girl. You know you have made it as a Grammy or as a parent when every kid thinks they're the most special. And it takes some work. So, you smell them onions already, which smells so good.
Say, Heather Lawrence, cousin Heather, says hello, hello.
Oh, hi Heather. I hope you had a good Christmas, sweetheart.
Jeff Whalen asks, what is this soup?
It is called black eyed pea soup. And this is something really that Jeff, I just come up with. Again, things that was in the counter or in the pantry, and we were, it was New Year's, and we needed black-eyed peas and pork. My husband loves soup, so we just come up with this deal. And we like meat, so we use the beef and the pork, and it just makes such a good soup. And you gotta make me some cornbread, Jeff. Make cornbread to go with it.
Josh said, wait, I thought I was the most special. Josh Burns.
You are, sweetheart. You are. You're my most beautiful, oldest grandson. And that's the truth. All right, so we got that cooking. And I still use my iron skillet. I love it. It's not recommended on the glass top stove, but I'm just careful not to slam it down or slide it around hot. I sent word to Pat Denny the other day about country ham and cooking it, and they make a diffuser that you can set on top of this and then set your skillet on that, which takes the risk away of cracking your top. So I sent her the information on that.
Heather, love you too. Audrey says, you look great. Can't wait to make this. Love you.
Oh, love you. You've been doing great. Is that my Aunt Audrey?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You have been doing so good, Audrey, about making these recipes. It just really makes me feel good. And I can see you taking it over to Dale and making him try it out before you eat it. So don't think I don't know what you're doing. So hopefully he's enjoying it most of the time.
Jeff said, looks and sounds like it will be great.
Thank you, Jeff. I hope you guys try it, because it really is, if you're into that, making sure that you get the pork and the beans for good luck. And a lot of people like to do that just for the tradition of it. So I hope you'll try it and make you a little pony cornbread too. And then you won't need any dessert because you're going to be so full. All right, that's looking good.
Josh said he needed that.
Oh, baby. I cannot wait. Josh is actually my step-grandson, but I have had him for however old you are now, Josh. his mother and I were pregnant at the same time. So he is just, Josh, you're precious to me. And I'm so happy and proud of you. And your babies, I cannot wait to see them. He has had twin babies, a boy and a girl. So I can't wait for this mess to be over so I can love on them. Give them some Grammy love. All right. I'm sorry, Clint. I gotta.
It's all right. I'm laughing. Josh. So y'all's people eat cornbread?
Yes, we do.
He said, can't wait for them to meet you.
All right, now I'm going to drain my hamburger. There's not much fat in it at all, but I'm going to go ahead because the onions, onions have a lot of water in them, and I cook them together. So I'm going to drain this. I've got my colander, and I actually have a paper towel under here to catch the grease so it doesn't have to go down my drain because we're on septic out here. All right. So we'll just let that drain a minute. And then we're going to put our smoked sausage in. And again, I'm just going to put just a tad of olive oil.
You're giving me my workout today.
Me and Clint do a dance.
Yeah.
We do a dance doing this.
A little do-si-do.
And no matter how much I plan ahead of time, I usually always forget something. We're going to put those in and let them brown. And then when you get a bite of these in the soup and it's already brown and a little bit crisp, it is so good. Turn that down just a tad. And then when you're cutting these, this is just plain smoked sausage. It comes in a rope. And you can do them however big the chunks that you like them. And then I like to cut them in half. That way you're not chewing, your mouth's not full of a whole big sausage. So we're going to finish these up. I'm kind of using my knife crazy because my hands, again, I hate to complain, but my hands have really been bothering me. You just have to suck it up because there's not much I can do about it. Especially when you have ulcers. They don't want you taking that hard medicine. And how many people were so excited that we had a few snow flurries on Christmas? My kids around here just knew we were going to get 6 feet. But at least they did get to see a little snow, so it was special. My niece, Charla, who lives north, didn't come because they had snow on the roads up there. And so the snow, we waited, thought she was going to come. The snow they got it cleaned off the roads, and she got word that she has been working next to someone every day who has COVID. So y'all keep her in your prayers that she didn't get it. If she did, that she has a speedy recovery and very few symptoms. So you can see that it doesn't hurt for it to get a little bit dark even. See, there's a few little pieces. That just brings the flavor out that much more. And you can smell this with the onions and the hamburger that was already in there. Oh, man. We may have to eat ours tonight. So I've got my, just a regular stock pot. And I'm going to go ahead and put my hamburger in here.
Okay.
Got the hamburger and the onions.
Heather said she'd be praying for good health for you.
Oh, thank you, Heather.
And that's Charla. She's asking so she can add her to her prayer list.
Oh, good. Yep, Charlotte, my niece. It's my brother, Bud, his little girl. And she put on for her Christmas wish this year. Her daddy passed away in a car wreck when he was 3, or when she was 3. And she has asked for memories of her dad. She doesn't really have any memories of him, which I thought, another thing, this kid has grown up and wishing for things that really matter. So I'll go ahead and put just water and all. My peas, I'm putting 3 cans. Because you remember, we got a crew around here.
Audrey said, yes, Dale will be getting some of this. I love your playful personality. By the way, Dale loves it.
Good. That's saying a lot if Dale loves it. And if I could get a smile out of him, man, that would make my day. Alright. I'm also using tomato paste because I didn't have any tomato juice. You can just, and if you're making for one, you're going to split this, just split it in half. Or making for one. Making for less people. So you would just use 1 jar of this, or 1 can.
If you did have tomato juice, how much would you use?
You would use about 4 cups.
4 cups.
Yeah. And this serves real well, or keeps real well. You can make it up and let it marinate. You can put it in the crock pot on low and it'll be ready when you get home from work. Or you can put it on the stove and let it simmer for a couple hours. So it's very versatile. The Rotel, we're putting it in. You can use Rotel, you can use diced tomatoes, but it would be 2 cans.
Mallory says, love you, Greenie.
Oh, I love you too, sweetheart. Is your baby's home? Dad was on the way to bring them home. And then we're going to put chicken broth, chicken stock. And we've talked before, I made some this year from chicken bones and fat that I got from Bentley Farms. And we've got it. I don't know why I'm saving it again, but I had this close to me. So we found out the last time we used this is 4 cups.
Then, yeah, Heather, that's right. For New Year's, the black-eyed peas for good luck.
All right, and our sausage. See how good that looks. And I, again, wish we had smell-o-vision because it is so good. We're going to let that cook just another minute. We're going to add a teaspoon of salt. A teaspoon of salt. And a teaspoon of pepper. And again, y'all can, or you all can.
Say y'all.
You adjust this to your taste. Less or more, whatever you like. We're going to give this a good stir. Get our paste mixed up. You can see already how good that looks. And smells, man. And if you like really, if the children weren't here, we would add more jalapenos. We would cut up a few of them in there, which just brings the flavor out that much more, but it's, they don't really care for it. And I'm sure my ulcer will appreciate us making this milder version.
Yeah.
So now, I'm going to go ahead and bring this to the stove. I think that'll be easier for me, Clint.
Yeah. Jeff asked if we had a homemade biscuit video. And I think we did for chicken and dumplings, right?
We did the recipe, Jeff, for when we were making dumplings, because I use a biscuit recipe and roll it out for the dumplings. So it'd be the same recipe, and that may be something we try next time. They're so much easier than you think they are. Just don't over knead them. you know, you just mix everything up good and then cut your biscuits out. So we may do that. And I'll make sure we let you know. All right.
Straight in the soup.
Now, putting this straight in the soup. And if you make this week, like if you wanted to do it today or tomorrow, you could just mix all this up after the meat cools and put it in your refrigerator to marinate for a day or two. And then heat it up, like I said, on top of the stove or in a crock pot. If it's already mixed up, you can put it in a crock pot and just turn it on low. And I'd say in a couple hours, 3 hours, it would be good and warm. Or you just put it on your stove and let it cook. And there it is. A good, meaty, you know, if you don't like it quite this thick, you could add a little water. It doesn't need it at all. But some people, if they're eating soup, they like a little more broth. So you just add water while you're cooking it so it doesn't taste watered down. But we like it just like this. And then a good, like I said, a good pone of cornbread or some fried cornbread to go with it. And believe it or not, guys, that's it today. I'm so glad to share that with you. I will probably, with ours, I will probably fix some fried cabbage on the side. Where we hit all the bases. We need all the luck we can get. And just a moment about, I think Clint took a picture a while ago. We were talking about grief and how we handle that different ways. And I put some different ways of over the years how I have done that for family members, especially my Robbie. And this year I lit a candle, vigilant candle. Lit it on Christmas Eve, and we will let that burn through New Year's. I just saw that I might have to replace it, and for me, it's just it is a constant reminder of Robbie and how he really is with us. I didn't have to tell anybody about it. If anybody asked, I told them, but it was a special and is just a special moment for me and Robbie. For the ones who have been suffering, again, just hold on. You know, it really doesn't get any easier, but you do learn how to deal with it, and you do learn how to live again. Teresa's, we're so excited. We did this live, and it got lots of views, which just makes me happy. We were very tickled about that. I love the interaction of talking back and forth with you. Corinthians chapter 13 comes to mind, the starting this new year. You know, it's about what true love is. And are we showing true love to our family? It needs to start in our home. If we're not doing it in our home, we don't have it to give away to the world. So try to practice that in your home, what true love is. Patience, kindness, and it's hard. It's hard to do that day in and day out. But practice that so when you walk outside that the world doesn't hit you with all this negative hate and attitude. You know, you can spread some goodness in the world. And, you know, the greatest of these is love. That's all I got today, guys. I hope the new year is better for all of us. I pray for those who are sick, that they are healed, however God sees fit with that. And I'm blessed to be able to do this. It's time for me and Clinton to bond. You know, he's the youngest of 4 children with a mama who worked no less than 65 hours a week most of his life, all of his life. So for us to have this special time now is truly another gift. I remember years ago, and then I'll shut up, I went to something that was called the Emmaus Walk. And that was after I gave my life to Christ, and I felt like I was just spiraling out of control. And so it was suggested that I go to this Emmaus walk, and you go 2 days with no outside influence at all, and just focus on what God wants from you. And I'll tell you, when I went, my ego was so big. I just knew I was supposed to be Joyce Myers or somebody. You know, I was supposed to be a televangelist. I was supposed to tell people, look at the junk that has happened to me, and I am saved by grace, and you can be too. But that's not what God told me at all. He told me if I would listen to Him and honor Him, I could be the best parent. He would show me how to do that. And that was my heart. That was my heart. I wanted to be the very best parent that I could be. And I feel like I've done that with God's help. And now with my grandchildren, I feel like I'm doing the same with them. So you never know what your true self is. You know, I'm not Joyce Myers, even though I love to talk. And I love to talk about Jesus. But my kids know that. My grandchildren know that. The people we meet know that. And the people who meet my children and grandchildren know that. So see, that's how it happens. I love you all. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my rambling. Try this soup. You're going to love it. And don't forget the cornbread or the biscuits, Jeff. Biscuits will be good with it too. And we're going to talk to you again real soon. God bless.